We are live, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneur's Evolution, live from the Netherlands, from Perth, Australia, and from Melbourne, Australia. So, welcome, everyone. If you're watching, please, in the comments, type where are you watching from, because we love to know our audience. Where are you? Let us know, please. Today, we're talking about an amazing topic that resonates with all three of us so very much. This is what we breathe: nutrition intake for optimal balance. Right, guys?
Boom. Love it.
Boom. Love it. So,
Absolutely.
this is what we're going to talk about today. If you guys have any questions about this topic, so what nutrition is good for your optimal healthy balance, put your question in the comments and then we will answer them. So let us know where you're from. If you have a question or a comment, or if you just want to say hi, we're going to say hi back, put it in the comments. So nutrition intake for optimal balance. As you see right here behind me, um, this is what really inspires us, and this is what we take, all three of us, every day. And this is balance oil. And we take it every day to be in an optimal balance and to get that balance back between our omega 3s and omega 6. And I never knew how very important that was until I met Rena, who actually introduced me to balance oil. And I'm so very happy that she did, because since I've been taking balance oil, I've been feeling more energized. I can focus more. I can be in a meeting all day long without having that brain fog. I sleep deeper. My skin has improved. My hair quality is better. And I'm just so happy. So, Rena, please tell us your experience with balance oil and what do you do for nutrition intake for optimal balance?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tisha, for that introduction and for sharing your story. It's quite amazing. But people, I'm exposed to a lot of daily stress and a lot of challenges in my life. And I've got to do things to help manage that. Hi, Paul. Welcome. Nice to see you. And so what I did was I thought, well, I do meditate. I've been meditating for a very long time, 40 years. I work out, at least 4 times a week. Hey, Gabrielle, greetings from Brazil. And I just found, hey, Albert, welcome. I just found that like you said, I was experiencing a lot of brain fog during the day. I was run down, and I just found it difficult to do certain things, like my joints were quite stiff and sore. And I discovered this balance test that you do. So you do a dry blood test, and it goes off to Norway where they test 11 fatty acids. And it came back, and my results were absolutely shocking, people. I was so disappointed, given what I thought I invested, my time, my energy, my knowledge that I thought I had. But 98% of us in Australia are certainly out of balance. And when I'm talking about balance, I'm talking about it from a nutritional aspect, and you can only get the omegas through nutrition. So I had a baseline. I did the test. I was 18.5 to 1, and you're supposed to be 3.2 to 1 or below. So I started taking the balance oil, but in addition to that, I also try and drink a lot of water. I do intermittent fasting, which for me works really well. Yeah. But I try and balance things out, and Adrian's better skilled and experienced to speak about nutrition than I am. But, certainly for me, everything in moderation. I am a bad girl. I do like my sweets. I do enjoy my ice cream, and I'm not going to stop that because it will just change my personality. I know for Adrian that's really taboo, but
we love ice cream.
Yeah, but we need to treat ourselves sometimes, don't we?
True. That's so true. Every night I have a scoop of ice cream. So, but in addition to that, I do try and eat as much, that much protein, because I've been taught by Adrian that much protein, and then that much veggies, or salad. So that's how I know my portion controls. Hi, Mohammed. Nice to see you. Welcome. That's what really helped me. So water, being conscious of what I'm eating, everything in moderation, enjoying life, and taking the balance on a daily basis.
Yeah, love that. And I think too, like Rena, when we first met, which was well over a year ago, face to face, and I had that first test. It's the omega-3, and my test come back really good. Remember that first test?
Yes, absolutely.
Really good, right? So of course, I was taking omega-3s back then as well. However, the lifestyle factors, such as my stress levels and my sleep, was on point because we didn't have a child at that time. And just one sec. Here he is here having a snooze. Anyway, so having that test gave us feedback on what was going on in the body. And I think this is the most important key part of it. And we did a test just recently, which was a year apart, didn't we, Rena?
Absolutely.
And the results were shocking. They weren't horrible. They're better than most people, but there'd been a big difference. All right. And the big difference was that the lifestyle had changed. The sleep pattern was interrupted. The stress level was a lot higher. There was more consumption of, more frequent consumption of alcohol. There was more frequent consumption of cheat meals, right?
Yeah.
So higher inflammatory foods, right? I was consuming more rice and things like that, right? So that's going to affect your blood results. And that's why what happened was, I think the key driver and the key message for this right now is, yes, the balance oil is fantastic, but it's the test. The test is the key, because that when I seen those results from at the start, from when I first started to a year later, something snapped in my brain. Welcome, my man. Something, and I told you that, didn't I, Rena? I said, Rena, something has clicked in my brain. And I was like, now I need to go back and do what I was doing before, which was working, because I had feedback. I was measuring things. I was measuring my food intake, my workouts, my sleep, my steps, my nutrition, and things like that. So I think it's all about what gets measured gets managed, right? When you can measure things, when you're not guessing what you're doing, you have a far greater chance of getting those benefits from the nutrition and from the lifestyle more so than if you didn't actually have that test, or you were guessing, or you go down to the supplement store and just grab whatever, right? Oh, this might work because it says that's what it says on the packet. But I think when it comes to nutrition, my big point here is that it's going to be different for everyone. But getting a test like the Zinzino's balance test can make a huge impact to your life, because what's going to happen from that is you're naturally going to start eating better, more quality food. Mm. So that's why generally it's not about like, hey, everyone knows that they should be eating more quality food, healthier food, right? But what is not being talked about is the lifestyle factors, which play a huge role with nutrition, right? Stress, sleep. The two things that over the last year have increased due to COVID. Yeah. Right? Yeah. People are doing less exercise, they're more stressed, they're more inflammation. And in order to reduce the inflammation, right, you need to manage those factors and also use a high quality omega-3, which is most important. And this is not this. this whole show today is not all about Zinzino and omega-3. What it is about finding balance and nutrition, which does start with something that is proven to work, right? Because it shifts your mindset. And that's why I think it's a game changer in the industry, and why Zinzino's is going to the roof at the moment. So that's where my take is. I could tell you, hey, make sure you get your whole foods and fruits and veg and all that sort of stuff. We already know that. But for most of us, we don't do it, right? Most of us don't do it.
Not enough.
Right? Exactly. However, sometimes it takes a shift in mindset through a simple jab and a blood test to then go, you know what? I know what I need to eat now, and I'll go and find, the person who has that knowledge and can sort of guide me in that area.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's what it is, right? It's the mindset. And I think, especially since the last year, people are so much more in their homes, moving less, right? And people know now that health is your wealth. That's your number one wealth. It's your health. Without your health, you cannot do anything. So people know the immune system, working on that, improving that. That is also key. And then food many times, which is processed foods. And that is just not as nutritious as what we used to eat like a century ago, right? It's just so much has changed in our lifestyles. The type of work we do, we many times have sitting down jobs, right? Except you, Adrian, but I think Rena and myself, we are in many meetings. We, especially now, sitting behind the screen. Like today, I had meetings from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. with a couple of little breaks, and that's it. What do I do with these breaks? I take my little dog, I go take a walk because I want to move. I want to take those steps, right? That's what I do. But also, you need movement, but you need that good nutrition. And sadly, the nutrition we eat these days, it's not as good for you as what we used to eat. So we need to add something to our daily diet that complements with that. And for me, balance oil makes that key difference to making our cells healthy again.
Yeah.
What's your take on that, Rena?
Absolutely spot on. I think the key thing is the key thing that you talked about is the processed foods out there. Whatever we eat, whether it's the chicken, the fish, the meat, it's not always grass-fed, grass-finished.
Yes.
And our DNA was programmed to have a ratio of 1-to-1. But, with commercialization and pollution and stress and all these factors, it's really gone out of balance. Now, we have a question that's come in from Rao. How I can digest food sharply with working 16 hours and I have no time to do exercise. Adrian Lee, you'll be the best to answer that one.
Great question, my man. Fantastic. And I think this all comes down to plan and prepare. Plan and prepare. Make sure that you've got healthy food that's available to you in advance. If you know that you're going to be working 16 hours a day, every day for the next 20 years, well, you know what? You've got a long haul in front of you. So my recommendation is to plan and prepare. And we all have time to get up and move, exactly like Tisha just said before. She was having her meetings from 9 a.m. to 5:30. She got her dog out, and the dog needs a walk as well. Get out and move, right? Yeah. We've all got the time. I firmly believe every single human has the time. So make the time, make it a priority. And when you do that, you will perform at a higher level and get more done in the workplace. You'll get more done. You'll feel better. You'll be less stressed, and you'll just be happier. Yeah. So big recap. Plan, prepare. Plan and prepare. Yeah. Plan and prepare.
So, Rao, just on that point with Adrian, Adrian does also sit in meetings, but quite often I'll see him sitting in a meeting, but he'll have a resistance band and he'll do a bit of work sitting in the chair with that resistance band. So what he's going to do now is just grab that and just give you a few ideas on how to use it. Here we go.
Yeah, you can just do like some broom. I don't know how well you can see it here, but all I'm just doing is I can do some of these, right? Band pull aparts. And you can get out of your chair too. Just get out of your chair. Do some squats in your chair. Get up, get down. Get up. There you go. Do that a few times a day. Like, get out and move. Your body wants to move. Like, you know, it just comes down to being conscious of it. You've just got to be conscious of movement and treating yourself like an athlete, like a high performer, someone who's like, you know, pilots, for example, you know, they get up and move, right? Even though they might be on a long haul trip, they're not going to be sitting there for bloody 16 hours like this.
No, absolutely.
Like, they're going to get up and move. They're going to have a rest. They're going to, you know, re-energize and refresh themselves and all that good stuff. So it just comes down to planning and being conscious, being aware, self-awareness. So we're all in the same boat. We're all, you know, career-minded and business-focused and all that good stuff. However, we need to take time for ourselves. Must. It's a must.
I think it all comes down to these healthy habits. It must become, if you want to make a change, it's those lifestyle changes you talked about, Adrian. It's that routine that you need. It's that half an hour getting up earlier and take that walk if you want to exercise. It's in between meetings like you're doing now, doing those exercises. It's when I have meetings all day long, what do I have sitting next to my screen? I have a bottle of water sitting there. I have some fruit sitting there, you know, and that's it. That's what you take. I have my Zenzino products there that I take. Also for the gut, Rao, you know, and Rao, please DM us if you need any more information. We're so very happy to help you. This is Biotic, what Rena is now showing. That is essential for your gut health. Really, really good for you. Something I take every day too. I feed this to my children too, every day. Balance oil, Biotic, and also 2 other supplements. And that's all I take. I used to have all these bottles of supplements sitting on my kitchen sink. Also those big fishy pills, which I could not get my kids to take, right? And you want your kids to be healthy. They always resented it. I did too, but I could make myself take them. But I never liked the taste after that. With the balance oil, I have no problem. I take a little bit of oil, I take a little sip of juice or water, and I'm good with it. And it actually tastes quite delightful. For my kids, same story. No problem. They take it, they take a little sip. Every day I feed them this. And what I'm seeing is happier, healthier kids. I'm seeing my son who is getting better grades at school because he is now concentrating better because his brain function is improving. You know, I'm seeing my 81-year-old father with now a healthy blood pressure after 30 years. And these are the things that make me truly happy. And this is the nutritional intake you need for your optimal balance.
Love that. I especially for kids as well, having I think it's more the DHA for kids, but it's so important with their brain is forming as they're growing for their education, memory, and all that good stuff. Focus, and I think too, it's something that we kind of don't really like look at and I think for us, brain performance, focus, managing stress, being happy, those things are key for us in the work that we do, especially when we're in meetings and, you know, we're speaking to people ongoing. It just plays a huge role. So
it does.
Boom.
Exactly. If you want to be a good leader, a good manager, you're having your own business. If you want to run that well, you need to be in a good state, in a good health. You know.
Yeah.
So we have another question from the audience from Mudassar. I need to know about psoriasis. Which food can help to stop psoriasis? Now I know that we actually have clients of us, who take balance oil that has helped them with the psoriasis and getting down those symptoms.
Yeah.
So you might want to try that, Mudassar, and please send us a message how we can help you with that.
Yeah. And also consult with your doctor as well. Like, I think first and foremost, go and speak with your doctor, see what they have to say, and then just take it from there. And
Yeah.
look at. I mean, I think this comes down to, Mudassar. I think this comes down to maybe having a like writing down your a food diary and actually seeing on paper what it is that you're eating, like everything. Like, are you drinking enough water? What foods are you eating at the moment? Why have you got this condition? Like, have a think about what your lifestyle, and that comes back to what I was saying before. Your lifestyle factors are most important. Your stress and your sleep. And the reason I say that is because it all comes down to hormones. If we're too stressed, if we're lacking in sleep, it's going to mess with our hormones, right? Especially our hunger hormones, our stress hormones, everything.
Yeah.
Right? I won't go too deep into it, but essentially those things. Are you getting good quality sleep? Are you managing stress? Are you eating mostly real food, whole foods that don't cause an inflammatory effect in your body, that doesn't cause gut distress and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Gas and bloating and all that sort of thing, right? And just doing more of that, because as we've spoken about, a healthy gut is a healthy brain, and they're both connected. So I think it's important to evaluate your current lifestyle. So my advice is, one, go and see your doctor, but also evaluate your life and don't rely on a product to be able to fix everything for you, because it's just a Band-Aid. Have a look at your lifestyle, your stress and your sleep. Are you getting enough of it? Right? Are you getting, good whole nutrition? That's it. So that's a good place to start.
Absolutely agree. I think and that all comes down to having a healthy balance in your life, where so many people, as you said, take medicine that cover up the symptoms, but really do not address the cause of things, right?
Yeah.
And the basic things like drinking enough water, moving, eating nutritious food, sleeping enough. And if you have those factors sorted in your life, that can make a difference already. I think then you're already halfway there.
Boom.
These mostly lifestyle diseases that many people suffer from.
Spot on.
Just please direct message Tisha, and we'll elaborate a little further for you.
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you, Mudassar, for asking your question, and I hope it was helpful. Here we have another question. Which kind of food to take to end weakness when getting up in the morning?
Weakness, I think it means.
Weakness, I think. Adrian, maybe you can answer that question.
Look, I think it comes back to the same thing again, like tracking what you're eating and how much you're eating compared to, like, for example, there's guidelines for men and for women with, like, depending on your activity levels on how much you should be eating. So, for example, I'll use myself because it's easy. I know that for me to maintain my body weight with my activity levels, so I train 4 to 5 days a week, strength training, and I walk around. So even though I have a sedentary job, it's quite flexible. I walk around 12,000 steps per day, around that. and I eat around 23 to 2,500 calories a day. Now, if I eat consistently over a period of time lower than that calories, let's just say, for example, 1,800 calories, one, I can feel a little weaker, right? My mood, my energy, my attention is lowered because I don't have the energy to recover from my workouts and also just go about everyday life, right? So maybe my recommendation is, hey, why don't you check out what you're actually eating every day? And if you are eating not enough, chances are you might be running on empty. And we all know what happens to a car when it runs on empty. It means it doesn't go.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't perform as well as it could if it was fueled. All right. So fuel your body with good food, but also track it initially in the early days until you get familiar with what works and what doesn't. Right. So in the short term, you're going to be doing some work tracking it. Like maybe you're in an app or you're writing it down or whatever it is, so that then you can say, cool, what foods do I need to eat more of that'll energize me throughout the day? Well, who knows? Depends on, your activity levels. So just to keep it simple, there's two energy sources: fats, for example, omega-3, fatty acids, right? Good fats, and olive oil, avocado, things like that. Whole foods, real foods that have got fiber in it as well, and carbohydrates, right? Sweet potatoes, fruits, vegetables. The sweet potatoes are more starchy stuff, but the vegetables, greens, they're going to energize you and bring you back to balance.
Absolutely.
Right.
Adrian, I think it would be great if you just gave an example of what you have for breakfast, just to give people ideas.
Okay, fantastic. Great question. So first thing I do every day is drink about 500 to a liter of water first thing. So water first thing to hydrate the body, because the body's been sleeping, it's been processing toxins. So that's the first thing every day. It's closer to a liter within the first 20 minutes. Then I have coffee. I have a coffee with lion's mane extract, right, which is for brain and gut, and also ashwagandha, which is also another adaptogen herb that I take to fire me up, right? Fires me up, my brain up, I'm pumped. Then I don't eat. It's 10 a.m. now. I haven't eaten a thing. And why do I do that? Because I'm productive and my body feels good on not eating. Now, am I advocating not to eat in the morning? No, I'm not. I'm simply saying this is what works for me. Like Rena was saying before, that's what works for her. She does the intermittent fasting as well. Now, I will work throughout the morning and I will feel fantastic. My energy levels will be good. Actually, one thing I forgot to mention in my coffee, which is a secret ingredient, is cinnamon, good quality cinnamon, because that helps manage your blood sugars, right, throughout the morning. So then I'll do my workout around 11, 12 o'clock, and then I would eat. So I don't eat anything until after my workout because I choose to do it that way. I know how my body works and I prefer to eat food later in the day. So my first meal is my break fast meal. In that meal, which comes around approximately anywhere between 12 and 3 o'clock, right? So I have 2 to 3 meals a day. The first meal is going to be one, I'll have a smoothie, a green smoothie, and it will have in it some greens powder. It will have some plant-based protein, 20 grams of protein. It will have like spinach, kale, some like rainbow mix, some carrots and beetroot, some broccoli in there, and it will have some salt. It will have some balanced oil in there, teaspoon of that. So that's the first thing I want to put in my body is something good, whole, nutritious, and I want to be kind to my gut first thing in the morning. I want to be kind. I want to fuel that good gut bacteria with some good quality food, good quality supplement, nutrition. Then about 20 minutes later, 15 minutes later, whatever it is, I'll have my meal. My meal will be a lean protein. And that could be, so I'm not a vegetarian or anything like that. I like eating meat. However, I eat mince. So I don't have steaks very often, like chicken steaks or turkey steaks or like beef steaks in general. I have minced versions because mince is easier to digest and absorb for your gut, right? So that's what I have. I'll have that with vegetables. I'll have like two palms of protein, say mince, like a beef mince. Then I'll have like 2 to 3 handfuls of veggies, and they can be like broccoli, beans, and that's pretty much it. Maybe some zucchini, peas every now and then, something like that. Or it'll be like a spinach. So it'll have like spinach, mushrooms, kale, like a slaw kind of meal. And I cook that up. And then another meal in the afternoon, I'll have something similar. And then for dinner, we just have whatever's on. Sometimes it's a slow cooker, like chicken, could be beef, could be that's about it, really. We alternate between that, or it could be salmon, right? Even though we eat salmon twice a week, you'd have to eat a lot. I was going to say kilos. You'd have to eat kilos of salmon just to get the required amount of omega-3s.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I just choose to use a supplement to make sure I get it. So just because people eat fish twice a week, chances are you are not getting enough. Right. So anyway, I'll have carbohydrates at the end of the day. All right. And I do that because it helps me sleep better. Right. It's all about releasing. What happens when you eat carbs? You feel happy. What happens when a Christmas Day, when you have a big meal? You feel tired. So it makes sense. It makes sense to be energized during the day and sleep well at night.
Yeah.
And I just do that every day. I don't think about it. That's why I don't talk too much about nutrition, because it's like, for me, it's important, but I eat the same things over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And me posting stuff about the same things over and over is just like boring as, right? So that's why we focus on the other things that are going to, like the balance test, that can then set you into momentum to then start making the changes that you need in your life. Now, not everyone needs a balance test. I'm not advocating that. What I'm pointing out here is that what gets measured gets managed, right? Think about and this is my final thoughts as well, is you measure things in your business and your career. Your fitness and health is no different, right? The biggest companies out there in the world all measure. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here today, right? So start measuring your fitness and your nutrition.
That's it. And it shows you what you have been eating for the last 4 months.
Yep. And that's how you get.
Yes. And what the results are,
Yeah. And then you'll be able to do more of what works. You'll be able to go, oh, you know what? I haven't been feeling as energized today because maybe I didn't sleep well. Maybe I didn't eat enough food in the last week or whatever it is. But if you don't have those stats, then you're just guessing, right? And guessing is wasting time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right? You're wasting time.
And the key thing is that for all the Indian guests that we have on the line, please direct message Tisha, because we're starting to have a lot of information and education sessions on the importance of balance in your life, because we are opening up in India. So we've got a head office in India. So please direct message Tisha. She'll give you more information and she'll help with the education sessions that we're holding.
Thank you so much, Rena. And thank you so much, Adrian, for your wonderful information today. For all of you who are watching, please follow the amazing Rena Strail from Australia and Adrian Lee from Australia. Their posts are amazing. They give you so much information that you can use to have a healthy, balanced life. So I absolutely recommend you to follow them, follow their posts, and give them some love. Thank you guys for being here today and sharing your knowledge and your wisdom. I'm so grateful to doing this show with you, and I'm very much looking forward to the next show. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all again in 2 weeks. Bye.
Can't wait. Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
lovely day.
Thanks, ladies.